£50,270. That might just be the worst salary in Britain, not the lowest one, the worst one. And there is a real difference between the two, because it's the exact point where the system flips on you. It stops rewarding you for earning more and quietly starts punishing you for it instead. This is the one salary where a raise just seems to vanish, where you earn more and yet somehow keep almost nothing extra. Let me show you exactly why with the real numbers and the one move that gets some of it back. £50,270 is the high rate threshold for income tax. Earn a pound more than that and you officially become a high rate taxpayer. And that line has been frozen solid since 2021, while wages and prices kept climbing every year. It's already dragged over 7 million people across it, up from about 5 million a few years ago. And here's the cruel part of it. This salary is 26% above the UK average. Most people would be absolutely thrilled to earn it, and it's the one the taxman squeezes the hardest. Let's start with the tax on the salary itself. Below the line, each pound you earn is taxed at 20%. The moment you cross £50,270, every extra pound is now taxed at 40%. And if you went to university, it gets even worse. On top of that 40% and your national insurance, you pay 9% above the student loan threshold. A graduate just over this line keeps about 49 pence out of every single new pound earned. Someone on £30,000 salary keeps about 74 pence. So you work harder, you take the promotion, you earn more, and you hand back more than half of every new pound. That is the first thing nobody ever really warns you about. But the tax is the only part of it you can actually see. There is a second hit that's completely invisible. The perks that silently vanish the day you cross it. Take your tax-free savings allowance, for example. Below the line, you can earn £1,000 of interest tax-free on the savings in your account. Cross the line and that allowance immediately halves, down to £500. On today's saving rates, that quietly costs you up to a couple of £100 a year. And if you are married, there's another one waiting for you. Your partner may have given you part of their tax allowance. The moment you are higher rate, that stops completely. And that's another £250 a year gone. Nobody sends you a letter about any of this. You just silently lose them for crossing the invisible line. I call the whole thing the invisible pay cut. Now here's the moment that genuinely breaks the people. You open the letter, a £10,000 raise, 50,000 up to £60,000. You have already spent it in your head, the holiday, the new kitchen, a bit of breathing room at last. Then the first new payslip lands. Say you are a graduate with a student loan and one young child. After 40% tax, the national insurance and 9% student loan on top, you keep about 4,900 of that £10,000. That's about £400 a month. You read the payslip twice, less than half of the number on the letter. For all that effort. That's exactly why the raise never feel like the figure they showed you. You celebrated money you were never actually going to keep. Everything so far just tells you how the money disappears. None of it tells you how to stop it. That move is simpler than you think. But first you need to see how deep this hole goes above £60,000. And if you got kids, this next part is the one that genuinely stings. Just above 60,000, the child benefit charge starts to bite. It claws back your child benefit bit by bit, a little more for every £200 you earn, until it's all completely gone by £80,000 a year. Now stack absolutely everything together for that graduate parent. The 40% tax, the national insurance, the student loan, and the child benefit clawed back on top. That 60 to 80 grand stretch is the single most punished band in the whole system. They can lose around 60 pence of every single extra pound they earn. The harder you climb inside that band, the less of it you actually get to keep. So what on earth do you actually do about all of this? Most people just accept the hit and hand back half their raise every year because they think the tax is fixed. There is one move, and it is by far the most powerful one. It's called salary sacrifice into your pension. When you pay in this way, the money comes out before tax and it lowers the income taxman counts. Sacrifice enough to drop back under £50,270 and you don't just dodge 40%. You get your full savings allowance back again. You get your marriage allowance back too, and you are paying your own future self instead of paying the treasury. On £55,000 salary, you would sacrifice about £4,500, and that saves you roughly £2,000 a year. You haven't actually earned a penny less in real life. You have just moved your money somewhere the system can't take a 40% bite out of it. Here's the part that should make you act now instead of later. That line isn't moving until 2031, but your salary will keep rising toward it. So this isn't a problem for high earners, it's a problem slowly walking towards almost everyone on a normal career path. Most people only find out the day the payslip disappoints them. The ones who set up salary sacrifice early never feel the bite at all. That's the whole difference. Earning more and keeping more are two completely different skills, and nobody teaches you the second one. So here's the truth about £50,270. It's 26% above the UK average, and it's the exact point the system bites the hardest. That's the higher rate trap, not the worst salary because it's small, the worst because it's the most punished. Here is one thing to do today. If you are near this line, look hard at salary sacrifice before your next pay review. If you have ever had a raise you couldn't feel, now you know where it went. That 60 to 80,000 band is the most punished stretch in the whole country. This is exactly why people start building income that doesn't come from a salary at all. Money the taxman can barely even touch. I made a video on that. It's a good one. But before you click on it, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you over there.